I'm Dr. Peter here again, and many of you may know me as the troublesome one that likes to talk too much. So I'm here to introduce to you or to present to you a very, very interesting topic that I'm sure that many of us are very much interested in. Well, I see a lot of patients who actually present to the hospital with complaints of, back pain as a result of maybe sexual activity, sexual intercourse and all of that. Or some of them come with questions to me regarding, okay, what kind of style do I use in bed so that I would, try to prevent back pain, any of those two. So now I am here to tell you, I am here to actually explain to you. So now back pain can actually be caused by poor sexual activity. Yes, it can be caused by poor sexual activity. Now, many of us like to do different kind of styles in the bedroom, and we do not know that instead of you just thinking that this thing shows your ability to sexually satisfy your partner, you forget that you yourself are a human being. You are not a god. You are not Hercules. And so by the time you are thrusting and throwing your partner up and down, doing snake in the monkey shadow, doing Spider-Man or Spider-Monkey, or doing doggy style, when you keep doing these things every time, please put your spine into consideration. This thing, you see, when you keep doing it, you see what happens. And you know the kind of style that I'm showing you now. You see? So it's coming forward, doing like this, doing like this, doing like this. You are hurting the back muscles. Most especially those people who will not realize the fact that they are doing too much. You see, you are a human being and you have blood running through your veins. You have a breaking point. And sometimes we tend to push ourselves to the limit too much, and we forget that we are actually doing ourselves more harm than good. Your back contains muscles, nerves, you have the discs and everything like that. You have the discs and everything like that. So by the time you continue doing this rigorous physical activity, you run the risk of hurting your back. Muscle spasm. You have muscles that are connected to every single bony process of the spine, and when you continue doing that over and over and over again, you run the risk of hurting these structures, and then from there you might run a risk also of developing chronic back pain. So that is one thing. Now, another thing is you have to look at the type of bed, the surface on which this steamy hot action is actually going on. If you are using a bed that is too soft, you and your partner are at risk, most especially the one who is lying flat. You say you want to do the missionary style on the bed, and then the foam is too soft. Of course, your spine is going to suffer. You say you want to do Spider-Monkey on the bed. Of course, the foam is too soft. You even run a risk of developing a pathological fracture if your bone is very weak, or a condition we call osteoporosis. The bone is weak. And depending on the age, and depending on the medical condition, depending on the medications the person is using. So there is a risk of really hurting the back, causing a bad fracture to the spine. It may not be an obvious one, but probably a stress fracture. What I mean by stress fracture is one of these bones may be weak, and then there may be a crack as a result of poor posturing as well as severe strain on the back. I'm not saying that this actually happens to everybody, but there are some people, wherever this message would get to, whoever is listening to me should be very attentive to this. You run a risk of damaging your vertebra, your backbone. You run a risk of tearing or spraining the ligaments and tendons as well as muscles of the back. Some people might actually have a ticking time bomb. You might have a compression just waiting for one round of snake in the monkey shadow. You might have this compression just waiting for 1 or 2 rounds of snake in the monkey shadow or spider monkey to just start putting pressure on the nerves that traverse close to it. And That particular round begins many years of agonizing pain. I'm sure you don't want that to happen. Now, because of all these things I have said, it is very important for us to be very careful with the kind of styles, with the intensity of the style you are using to enjoy yourself. I am not saying that you shouldn't showcase your talents, your steamy talents in the other room. But what I'm just saying is, be careful. Know the kind of intensity. There are some other styles that will put less strain on your back. For example, the side to side is fine. You do not have to kill your partner to show that it is working. You get. So it is always good for you to check with your doctor, number one. Ensure that everything is okay with you health-wise. Number two, ensure that you have a very good bed that you can perform your talents, your other room talents in. And in case of if you have any issues, ensure you visit your medical practitioner so that we'll be able to check you and we'll be able to, treat you well. Thank you very much.